Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Scherr. That's Robert Harding. This is the Citizen Sports Weekly for Friday, July 17th, 2015.
The green team coming
The
at you.
green team, hey, you know.
Look at that.
It's funny. I wore this shirt one time at a water park, and the employees at the water park were wearing green shirts like this.
Oh,
I had all these.
always bad.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Do you know where? Can I help? Could you help me? Like, I don't work here. I just look like I work here. It's whenever I wear this shirt, I think of that. My kids always remind me that when I wear this shirt. So.
This reminds me of going into Wegmans wearing a Washington National shirt
Yeah,
one
the
time,
W logo.
and someone coming up and asking me for help.
The curly W.
The curly.
Or yeah, they thought you worked at Walgreens.
Yeah, I've gotten that a lot too.
Yeah, so, all right. So we are going to talk about really. It's kind of like a dead week. We just racked our brains trying to think what could we talk about because it's really the NFL hasn't started yet. College football another week or two away before they start practice. Baseball, the second part of the season's about to start, but Major League Baseball really. And we're not going to talk about the All-Star game, okay? And we've kind of beaten Tiger Woods' demise. We just beaten that dog. Well, actually, no, that's not a good choice of words, is it? But we've exhausted that topic, so we're not going to revisit it. So what we are going to talk about, and we're not going to, with any further ado, is the Syracuse Chiefs, which is a AAA baseball team, which is about 30 miles to the east of here. Robert went to a game recently, and we're going to talk about the Chiefs, more specifically off-field things. But I'll let Robert start it off because he did go to a Chiefs game last week, and that was your first Chiefs game?
Was my first Chiefs game.
Talk to me about your experience there.
My impression was, the appearance of the ballpark I liked. The ballpark itself, if you take out the factors involved in, the location of it, where it is in the city.
Yeah.
It's a nice ballpark. I know that there's, discussion that actually is occurring thanks to a Syracuse.com piece about, is the location the right one? I personally don't think it's the right location. I think that ballpark could benefit from a different location. A little tough to pick up a ballpark and move.
Right, you'd have to start from scratch, obviously, yeah.
But, I liked kind of the general feel of it. I don't think it's as good, just in terms of, environment, amenities as, the two other thruway teams, Rochester and Buffalo. I think Frontier Field and Coca-Cola Field certainly have more to offer. But, it serves its purpose. I think that they're trying over there. There's been some questionable attendance numbers put out there.
Right.
The night I went, it was half full park, and it's Saturday night. But they're trying, I guess. It's always tough in minor league sports to get by, but that was my first impression. Good ballpark. Decent environment, certainly room for improvement, a lot of room for improvement in some areas, but, they're not doing all that bad there.
Okay. I have not been to a Chiefs game in a long time, so I can't speak to what the game day experience is like Robert did. And unfortunately, I've never seen games at Frontier Field in Rochester or Coca-Cola Park in beautiful Buffalo. But obviously, I've been to my share of double-days games. I've been to a few Major League games, so... But the one thing I will say is I do know Jason Smallrow, who is the Chiefs general manager. He was the Auburn Doubledays general manager for a few years back in the early 2000s. Jason did an amazing job in Auburn. I mean, he was very energetic and very active, and he would not hesitate to get up on the top of the dugout and dance during the seventh inning stretch. And he was very, very pro fan. I guess that's the best way to describe it. He was always talking to fans and very receptive and irregardless of, even with those things, the ballpark was in good shape. Fans were treated well. It was a good game day experience, I guess is the best way to describe it. So when I heard that Jason was hired by the Chiefs, I was happy because I knew from his Auburn experience that he was going to really do a great job in Syracuse. And from what I've been reading online and hearing in the community, it seems like that, he's done a good job, that he is... he's changing attitudes and people like him. But obviously the big thing is you got to get more people in the seats. That's ultimately for Jason, and I think he'll be the first to tell you that that's how his job is judged is the number of people that are going through the turnstiles. And Syracuse is last in the International League in attendance. Now, obviously, there are some big markets in the International League. Okay, bigger cities than Syracuse, and we've discussed this with the double days that Auburn is second from last in New York Penn League attendance. But you look at the size of the cities that other New York Penn League teams are playing in and what they're drawing from, it makes a big difference. So Syracuse, you could kind of grade on that curve, but like anything else, it takes time to build something. Okay, when something deteriorates over 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, you can't turn it around overnight. It's impossible. You have to change mindsets. You have to change habits, and those are the toughest things to do, especially in minor league sports, because everybody loves a winner. Everybody likes to jump on the bandwagon, and in major pro sports like MLB or the NFL, it's easy to do that. When the team starts winning. When it's minor league sports where the main goal is developing professional ball players for the majors, it's a little bit different. So unfortunately, the Chiefs are not having a good year. They have the worst record in the International League. Last year they made the playoffs, which was great. It would have been nice if they could have had a longer run. I think it would have built some momentum for this season, but it didn't happen. But their attendance is still up some bit, I guess, from last year, which is a good start. Attitudes are being changed. Hopefully new habits are being formed. And hopefully Jason will be able to turn this thing around in Syracuse. Because I'll tell you, Syracuse has been a AAA town now for more than 50 years. It would be hard to believe to think that Syracuse is not a AAA town anymore. That would they be in the Eastern League, which is a AA league, which Binghamton is in, Erie, Pennsylvania are in. There's a lot of cities that were AA at one time, like Albany. They're now, New York Penn League area. So you'd hate to see baseball go down a notch in Syracuse. Hopefully it won't. Hopefully Jason will get the job done, and the Chiefs will be successful in the future.
Yeah, for me, just kind of living here and looking at that team and what they're doing. Certainly, Smorl has been putting his full energy into it. There's no question about that. He wrote a column recently for Syracuse.com, and I think that he certainly made a few good points, but he certainly made others that can be disputed. He threw out some attendance figures there that were a little questionable. He talked about Syracuse, that this is a baseball town, and I think that's always subjective, but I certainly think when you look at the college, even the Chiefs, what Syracuse has to offer, and the Crunch rather, the hockey team. The Chiefs kind of fall behind that. They, and I think you've mentioned this before. They're kind of lagging. When you compare it to the Crunch and obviously the popularity of things like the Syracuse football team and Syracuse basketball teams. So they have a struggle, but the nice thing is that they do have the advantage of having different seasons. They don't play, the Crunch and Syracuse men's basketball team seasons overlap. With the Chiefs rather, they have the whole summer to themselves. Yeah. So if they can find a way to take that to their advantage, and really it's about building out. I think they've focused too much on trying to tap into that Syracuse market. One of the great things about the Rochester and Buffalo markets is that they do branch out. You see a lot of people that go to games if they live 15, 30 minutes away. I think they have to tap into that a little more. If you're just relying on the city, well, that probably won't get you ahead. If you have a more regional marketing strategy, maybe tapping into something with the double days, even though you're two different organizations, work together.
Well, it's funny you say it, because when Syracuse and Auburn, they first became Blue Jays. Syracuse was still a Blue Jays affiliate at the time, but when Auburn became a Blue Jays affiliate, one of the things I think they did was they had joint season tickets. You could use, if you were a season ticket holder for Auburn, you could use your ticket in Syracuse. The problem was the ticket prices. You could buy a cheaper double-day season ticket and use it in Syracuse. So that obviously was not feasible. It doesn't help Syracuse. So they cut that out. They realized it was not. It was, on paper it sounded nice, but financially it wasn't good. So, and again, they have to make money. That's the big thing here, folks. So, like I said, I think the Chiefs do have some issues in regards to, they are minor league, and the Crunch do a great job promoting. Howard Dolgan, I got to give him all the credit in the world, pro hockey has been viable in Syracuse for 20 years when it was a hockey graveyard, and Howard Dogan deserves all the credit in the world for doing that. He's done an amazing job promoting that team. But the thing is, if you look at what the Crunch attendance is, I think they average about 4,000 a game, I think, and that's basically what the Chiefs are averaging, a little under, between 3,000 and 4,000.
Sure.
And, the Chiefs have more dates, obviously. There's more inventory, limited seats for the Crunch to fill out. But I think hockey is one of those sports that there's such a hardcore fan that they will go to every game. I mean, I'm sure the Crunch have great season ticket numbers. And the fact that there's not as many home games, probably half as many home games for the Crunch as there are the Chiefs, like I said, I think that makes a difference. So, I think Syracuse is a viable market for minor league sports, whether it be the Crunch or the Chiefs. I think that, like I said, the Chiefs' long-term future, I think that if they can get some attention and get people in the habit of going back to the ballpark, their future is good. But like I said, for now, it's difficult, and you hope that they can turn it around.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add, sir?
I'm done.
We're done. Hey, this is a fun video. I may not be here next week. I'm going to be starting vacation next week at this time, so I may not be here. So if I'm not, I'm sure Robert will find some able-bodied person off the street.
Yeah, I forgot. Moneybags is off too.
Oh, maybe we get my. No, I can't say it. I was going to say get my daughter to come in, but I don't think.
I really need to tap into the relievers now.
You could do a solo show.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be great? You could just sit here by yourself and just say, "Hey, Robert, what am I going to talk about?" I don't know, Robert. I think of a good idea. No, I'm
I
sure
could introduce a
someone.
puppet. And just
Oh God.
be terrible.
Maybe Jeremy Boyer might be good. Our boss. He might be. He knows a lot about sports. I think he might be good. Or Jeremy Hoteling, our other sports writer. I think he'd be a solid choice. You could talk double days, maybe about the team itself, their performance on the field and everything. Some of the players. That might not be a bad idea. But we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do one next Wednesday before I start my vacation. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you on the flip side.